Hi everybody. Today we're going to talk about whether your son or daughter uses a to-do list or a checklist. This can be very beneficial for them, and if they're not using one, can drag down their progress, drag down how much they're developing. And we'll talk about what I mean by that right now. Hello everybody, my name is Phil Black. I run an online mentoring program called PrepWell Academy, where I help mentor and coach high school kids, rising freshmen, sophomore, juniors, and seniors on how to make smart decisions about high school, college majors, careers, and everything in between. Now, this has been especially important for me. You know, my background is a former Navy SEAL, Goldman Sachs investment banker, Yale and Harvard Business School graduate, Shark Tank contestant, entrepreneur, firefighter, father, and husband, father of 4 kids, who I see this on a daily basis, these checklist or not checklist. And checklists to me have been key to whatever success that I've had. And I teach in PrepWell Academy to all the PrepWellers this concept of why it's important to have a checklist, to have a to-do list. And it's on the heels of goal setting, which is a very important topic, which we addressed a couple weeks ago. But to-do lists is even more day-to-day, even more block and tackling than goal lists, because it's what you do every single day. Now, I often ask kids, my sons in particular, they wake up in the morning, especially during the summer, hey, what do you guys have planned for today? Well, I've got this going on, and I'm probably going to do that, and if I get around to this, I'm going to do that, and then they kind of fade away. And my simple question is, oh, do you have any of that stuff written down? And their reply is typically, oh, no, I know it, I got it, I know what I'm doing, yeah, I just told you what I'm going to do, I'm going to do it, no problem. I don't need to write it down, I'm smart enough, I'm a teenager, I know what's up. And I say, okay, kind of shake my head, nod my head, and give them a little bit of room. And then what typically happens, especially during the summer, is that somehow something slips through the cracks. They forget about this. They get distracted. They end up going out and doing something else. And by the end of the day, is their checklist done? Most of the time, no. And it's not because they weren't well-intentioned. It's not because they didn't want to do those things. It's because a lot of things hit. Procrastination, forgetting about things, and just overall distractions during the day and friction. So the point to them, and the point that I make to kids, and of course the point that I make when I teach all of my PrepWellers, it's one of many what I call repeatable skills that they're going to need to succeed later on in life. That skill is writing a checklist, even if it's just 3 things, in priority. And I like to tell them, put the hard stuff at the top of the list. If it's only 3 things, put the toughest one at the top. So if all else fails, you got your number 1 thing done. Now, over time, depending on how mature your son or daughter is and how developed they are and how into it they are, of course, we want to create slightly more categorized to-do lists. Maybe they have a category of fitness. Maybe they have a category of academics or sports or chores around the house. So it makes it a little bit easier for them to divide it up. Divide and conquer, instead of trying to carry all this in their heads. The other great benefit is, as they're going through this, and if they have a summer goal list, hopefully they've done this, they look at that morning task list, and maybe they have something on there that's not really realistic. And every day they keep seeing the same thing on their task list or their to-do list. They're able to see that and adjust it. Maybe they take it out. Maybe they tweak it. So what we're trying to help them build is a system for getting things done. And that system starts out with physically writing things down in order of priority and looking at those things every morning. Now, granted, depending on how young your son or daughter is, I talk to people starting all the way in 5th and 6th grade, all the way up to leaving for college. The level of sophistication can change. In fact, some people, successful adults, they put 3 things down on a little Post-it note. That's it. If they get these 3 things done, they're good to go. Ideally, they're high-value things. They're not little busy things that are going to be easy to do and they cross them off the list. I brushed my teeth today, check. No. We want high-value things, hard things. Hard and high value should be first, and then other things after that. So what I would propose to you, this is just a little prompt today, talk to your son or daughter, ask them what they have planned for the day, and observe, do they have it written down? And if they don't, and they give you a little pushback, start off slowly. Hey, let's just do a little experiment. Let's, in the morning, think about what those things are that you're saying and planning you're going to do. Let's jot them down. Let's jot them down on a napkin. Let's jot them down on a Post-it note at the kitchen table. let's write them down, put a little box next to it, and as you check these off, and as you complete these tasks, check them off, and we'll check in at the end of the day. I will tell you 9 times out of 10, if they've written them down and there's a little checkbox next to them, they have more of an inclination to complete those tasks, as opposed to having those tasks running around in their head. Who knows when they're going to implement them? Who knows if they're going to remember them? And it's more likely that they'll get distracted and procrastinate. I hope this has been helpful to you. Please give me a thumbs up, like this episode. Let me know what other topics you'd like to hear about. And let me know if you found other things in terms of checklists or to-do lists that you found helpful with your son or daughter. Did they give you pushback? Do they jump on it? Do they like it? Have they had success? You know, when working with all my PrepWellers, we make a very concerted effort to create summer goal lists a few weeks ago with check marks. And those are somewhat longer term. So at the end of the summer, they're going to go back and check off whether they've done those or not. But the daily blocking and tackling requires writing those out and checking those off. Now, there are sophisticated ways technologically to do this. You can create, there's tons of apps, there's Trello, and there's Evernote, and a ton of different ways that they can feel out. If they're a tech person and they want to record these things, that's great. But if they want to be low budget, that's fine too. Just get a little notebook, get a little Post-it note, and rewrite them every morning, even if it's just 3 things. Because what we're trying to do is build success habits early on in their lives so that when they ultimately get to college, they're good to go. They don't have to start thinking about this to-do list and goal setting then. That's my whole goal and my passion in life, is to help guide and teach kids how to do these types of things. If this is interesting to you, please join us at PrepWellAcademy.com. If you're interested in goal setting, you can still get a custom goal setting worksheet from me if you go to PrepWellAcademy.com/P/goals, PrepWellAcademy.com/P/goals, and I will send you a custom goal setting worksheet for the summer. We have all of August left, and it will walk you through exactly how to create summer goals, and then take that and segue that into daily task lists or daily to-do lists. Please share this with a friend. Please tag somebody who you think this might be helpful for. And I look forward to checking in with you again tomorrow. This is on my checklist, and right now, once I hit that finish button, I'm going to check it off because it's done. See you tomorrow.